Conference semifinal matchup between the Cleveland Cavaliers and LeBron James going against the Detroit Pistons, last year's Eastern Conference champs. Great solo effort here by James as he slices through the D and sinks the up and under. James with 22 points to lead the Cavaliers in scoring. Tayshaun Prince counters. He misses his first layup attempt but hustles for the rebound and lays it in. Detroit grabs the lead at 16-14. Then it's all Detroit from the rest of the way. Billups controls in the front court, and then Chauncey pops the tray at the end of one. Detroit's up by 10. Rasheed Wallace in the second period takes the pass in the wing, then lobs a nice alley-oop to Antonio McDyess for the dunk. McDyess with 12 points in the game. Tayshaun Prince again. This time he dishes to Big Ben Wallace for the nice baseline spin and the layup. It's the only 2 points of the game for Wallace, but he did block 4 shots in the game. The first half finishes with another flurry by the Pistons. Lindsey Hunter dribbles to the arc and drains the long three. At the half, Detroit's up 69-48. The Pistons keep it going in the second half. Chauncey Billups with a nice lead pass to Tayshaun Prince for the layup. Then Big Ben Wallace gets the block on Larry Hughes, and Billups then runs it out to Rip Hamilton for the easy fast break lay-in with the beautiful fake. Hamilton 20 points in the afternoon contest. Chauncey Billups feeds Tayshaun Prince again. This time, Prince hits the three ball. At the end of 3 periods, Detroit's up by 31, 94-63. Antonio McDyess grabs the loose ball and kicks it out to Tony Delk for another Pistons three-pointer. LeBron James and the Cavs can only look on in disbelief as they lose by 27 points after trailing by the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Detroit Pistons before the game. The great Bill Russell congratulates Ben Wallace as he receives his Defensive Player of the Year award. When action starts, Wallace passes it out to Tayshaun Prince. He cans the three ball, caps the Pistons' 7-0 run. Richard Hamilton now kicks it out to Chauncey Billups, who nails the open tray. And at the end of the first quarter, the Pistons are up by 7, 23-17. Rasheed Wallace in the second quarter backs down Donyell Marshall and hits the pretty little turnaround jump shot. Detroit's lead grows to 19 points. Then Billups dishes to Rasheed Wallace again, who banks in the tray this time. And at the half, the Pistons lead 52-36. Detroit on the break. Richard Hamilton lobs it to Tayshaun Prince, who gathers himself before jamming it home, plus the foul. And Detroit's lead grows to 62-40. Chauncey Billups whips it to Rasheed Wallace. Alone at the top of the arc. It's another three ball. Wallace with 29 points in the game. LeBron James takes up the slack then. He drives to the rack for the one-handed jam. Chauncey Billups counters with the pull-up three-pointer. At the end of 3, the Pistons lead 78-60. LeBron again, this time in the corner, pulls up and drains the three of his own. LeBron James knifes his way inside with the lefty lay-in plus the foul. James finishes with 30 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists. Richard Hamilton blows past Larry Hughes, though, for the layup. And the Pistons hold off the Cavaliers 97-91 to take a 2-0 advantage in their Eastern Conference semifinal. Neither team shoots the ball. Cleveland Cavaliers and the Detroit Pistons. The action moves to Cleveland. LeBron James hoping to get his team its first win in the series. Off the Lindsey Hunter turnover, the Cavs go right to work. Damon Jones gets it to LeBron for the big reverse jam. Here's a second look. At the end of 1, Cleveland is up by 1. In the second period, James makes the long outlet pass to Donyell Marshall, who gets the dunk plus the foul. Maurice Evans kicks it out to Richard Hamilton for the visitors. He knocks down the three ball. Hamilton 15 points at the half. Cleveland up by 1, though. Donyell Marshall with the block. Flip Murray takes it the distance and hits the layup. Cleveland builds a 4-point lead in the second period. Chauncey Billups again drives in for the layup and the foul. Pistons close the half on a 9-0 run at half. Detroit's up 42-36. Chauncey Billups gets it to Richard Hamilton in the third quarter. He hits the jump shot, and Detroit builds its lead to 9 points at 49-40. Tayshaun Prince makes the nice pass to Ben Wallace, who gets the layup, plus the foul, and after the free throw, Detroit builds its lead to 54-44. Eric Snow gets it over to Zydrunas Ilgauskas as the Cavs come back. He hits the jump shot. Detroit's lead is down to 6. Then Flip Murray buries the three ball. It caps a 9-0 run, just like Detroit ended the first half, and at the end of 3, Detroit's only up 56-53. Then the Cavs take over. In transition, Flip Murray finds LeBron James for the two-handed jam. Detroit's lead is down to a point. Then James feeds Anderson Varejão for the dunk, and Cleveland has the lead 68-66. More from LeBron as he drives in for the layup, and he builds his team's lead to 4 points with that nice move down the lane. Then, with Detroit within 4 points, James steps back behind the arc and nails the three-pointer. That's the dagger. Cleveland goes on to win 86-77. Detroit now leads the series 2 games. Game 4 in Cleveland. Rasheed Wallace ready to go. But it's Chauncey Billups who starts his team off as he gets the loose ball and gets it ahead to Richard Hamilton for the fast break lay-in. Detroit out to a quick 8-6 lead. Then Tayshaun Prince backs his man down in the paint, kicks it to Richard Hamilton. He hits the three-pointer. Hamilton with 11 points in the first quarter. Detroit leads 19-16 after one. In the second quarter, LeBron James cuts his way down the lane and hits the acrobatic left-handed lay-in. Cleveland takes the lead, 25-24. Here's a repeat of that play, and watch Rasheed Wallace go down, twisting his ankle. He would leave the game momentarily, but would walk it off and come back, although he would limp throughout the rest of the game. Here he is later in the second period, backing down Anderson Varejão, and into the basket for the easy lay-in. Detroit regains the lead 32-31, but LeBron wants it back. And being flustered by Maurice Evans on the defensive side, he steps back and shoots a fadeaway three, and it goes down. James 15 points at the half. Detroit's lead, however, at the break is 38-36. LeBron in the third quarter brings it up court and throws the skip pass to Eric Snow, who drives in for the lay-in to tie the game at 48. Richard Hamilton counters for the visitors. He misses the shot, but Big Ben Wallace gets the board and kicks it back to him, and he hits the short jumper. At the end of three periods, Detroit leads 59-53. But the Pistons go cold at the start of the fourth quarter. Tony Dell can't hit the shot. Then Antonio McDyess taps the ball out to Rasheed Wallace. He puts up the air ball. Then it's Chauncey Billups. He drives strong to the hole, but gets his shot swatted by LeBron James. The Pistons went almost 8 minutes without a field goal. James gets the ball in the corner. He takes a strong dribble right before stepping back to nail the shot. Cleveland has a lead, 61-60. James takes Ben Wallace off the dribble as he gets down in the lane for the layup. And the Cavalier lead is 72-70. Chauncey Billups gets by Eric Snow, but runs straight into Anderson Varejão, and it's an offensive foul. Cleveland gets the ball. With one more chance and down by a point, Richard Hamilton drives down the wing and can't convert. Ben Wallace flies in to miss the tip-in. Maurice Evans knocks it out of bounds. With 2.3 seconds left, LeBron James would hit one of two free throws, and on the ensuing play to inbounds the pass, Tayshaun Prince throws it away, and the Cavaliers tie up the series at 2 games apiece. The final score, Cleveland 74, Detroit.
In Detroit, Michigan, as the Pistons and Cavaliers do battle in Game 5. Rasheed Wallace receiving the NBA Community Assist Award. This series is tied at 2 apiece. And here's Rasheed Wallace, knocks down the jumper that gave the Pistons the early lead by a point. Their largest lead in this game would be just 3. Here's LeBron James, seat down, flush. After one, game tied at 20. We move to the second quarter. Richard Hamilton, that cut the Cavs lead to 3 at 36-33. Later in the second, with the Cavs up by 3, it's LeBron window shopping. 22 points in the first half for Bron, as the Cavs led by 5, 42-37. More LeBron. At the half, Cavs up by 5 at 50-45. The second half starts with the third quarter. That's where we'll head with Chauncey Billups. 14 points in the second half, 17 in the game, as the Cavs lead was 7 at 58-51. More LeBron James, the only three-pointer of the game for Bron. He had 32 points in the game as the Cavs led by 10. Richard Hamilton capping a 13-3 Pistons run that tied it at 66 after 3. Cavs by 2, 68-66. Fourth quarter, Antonio McDyess, a big shot. He was huge for the Pistons after Rasheed Wallace sat with 5 personal fouls and a tech. It was tied at 77, and then Damon Jones, the three-pointer and the foul. He missed the free throw, but the Cavs led by 3. Antonio McDyess ties the game at 84. He had 11 points, 11 rebounds off the bench. Yeah, baby. Nice pass from James down low to Drew Gooden. That put the Cavs up 86-84. A chance to tie for Detroit. Donyell Marshall swats Tayshaun Prince. But another chance to tie. 1.9 seconds to go. And Rip Hamilton loses the ball out of bounds as the Pistons lose the game. 86-84. And for the first time in Cleveland Cavaliers history,
Rip Hamilton and the Pistons looking to keep their season alive. Meanwhile, LeBron James and the Cavs looking to advance to the finals. Larry Hughes was stressed, but would only be used in an emergency. We move to the third quarter. LeBron muscles through the defense, throws down the two-handed slam. Cleveland leads by a point. Now more King James comes up with the steal. Gets it back from Eric Snow for the lay-in off the glass. Cleveland leads 52-47. Then Chauncey Billups kicks it out to Rasheed Wallace. Wallace had a big night from 3. Buries it there. Detroit takes the 2-point lead. Time now winding down. Flip Murray pushes the ball up court and hits the buzzer beater. We'll take a look at it one more time. This would give the Pistons just a 2-point lead as Cleveland cuts into the margin. A 2-point lead for the Pistons going into the fourth. Chauncey Billups with the steal off the James spin. Gets it ahead to Tayshaun Prince to the lay-in. Detroit leads 71-69. Now, with the shot clock winding down, Billups, what a tough jumper. Nails it. So it's a 4-point advantage for Detroit. Under a minute left, Pistons up by 2. Rasheed Wallace misses a 3, but Tayshaun Prince gets the back tap to Richard Hamilton. Later in the possession, Wallace misses the turnaround, but Hamilton gets the rebound out to Chauncey Billups, who gets it to Wallace, who was fouled. After missing the first free throw, Wallace misses the second. Flip Murray has a shot at the board, but no. Ben Wallace comes away with the loose ball, getting it to Chauncey Billups, and Billups is then fouled. After making the first free throw to put the Pistons up by 3, Billups misses the second. LeBron gets the board, dribbles up, and gets fouled as he passes to the corner, looking for a game-tying 3, but he's fouled instead. Goes to the line for 2, makes the first, misses the second on purpose, and look at this, a near tip home by Zydrunas Ilgauskas, but it doesn't fall. One last look. How close. He nearly forces this game to overtime, but the Pistons hang on and win 84-82.
Semifinal between the Cleveland Cavaliers. LeBron James and his teammates hoping to deny the Detroit Pistons their 4th straight trip to the Eastern Conference Finals. But it's Chauncey Billups early on as he steps around the Rasheed Wallace screen and pulls up to drain the 3. Detroit off to a quick 12-4 lead. Richard Hamilton drives in and lobs the pass to Ben Wallace for the alley-oop jam. Detroit builds this lead to 16-6. The Cavs try to keep it close. LeBron James explodes to the hoop, throws down the monster jam. It's so pretty we'll take a second look at it. But at the end of the first period, Detroit leads 21-15. In the second, Cavs on the run. Larry Hughes with a long alley-oop pass. LeBron James for the two-handed finish. James with 13 points in the second quarter. Then Chauncey Billups grabs the rebound and gets to the head to Richard Hamilton for the uncontested layup. But at the half, Detroit's lead is down to 2, 40-38. In the third, Billups dribbles baseline, uses the pump fake to knock down the jump shot. Lindsey Hunter next up for the Pistons. He blows by LeBron James to get in the lane for the layup. And Detroit's lead is 7, 53-46. Cavs try to stop the run. LeBron James attempts the 3, but his shot cannot fall. In the second half, Cleveland scores only 23 points overall. Tayshaun Prince for the Pistons drives baseline and cuts between 2 defenders for the lay-in. At the end of the third quarter, Detroit's lead is 10 at 58-48. Tayshaun Prince again. This time he backs down and spins past the defense to kick it out to Lindsey Hunter. 3-ball good. Detroit leads 61-51. Tayshaun Prince again, this time with another baseline spin, but he goes to the basket himself. Misses, but taps in his own miss. Chauncey Billups finds Richard Hamilton in the fourth quarter late, curling around the screen for the dish and the shot. Detroit builds its lead to 15 before coasting on to the victory, 79-61. LeBron James going home for the 2005-2006 season. The Pistons shooting 42.5% from the field in the game, only 3 of 13.